TAQ Capital, technical analysis quickly.
This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Before taking any action based on the information provided on this channel, it is recommended that you seek the advice of a professional licensed financial advisor.
Let's do this.
Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. This video is going to be on Pirate, and currently here I'm looking at the 4-hour on Pirate, and you can see that back here on June 18th is when we entered this upward channel here. And as in true fashion we do on this channel here, we recognize that these wedges and channels move in 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout patterns. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we've got the breakout of the wedge. And once we have a breakout confirmed here, because this was just a testing, we then know, and even before that, we know that this fourth hit is the beginning of our next channel. So as it was unfolding here, it would come down and hit here, and at which point you would assume, presumably here, that you would have a second hit. So let's start drawing that out. As of right now, this is what it looks like. So this was our first hit on the blue, fourth hit on the yellow. Second hit, third hit, and fourth hit. So if this remains the fourth hit, now we're going to work our way up here and break out of the blue. The reason why I say if this remains our fourth hit is because we could actually go much lower than this. This could be 1, 2, 3, then 4, then breakout. So to have a better idea of this, we have to look at things like the Ichimoku cloud, the Bollinger Bands, and Fibonacci lines and Fibonacci circles. So I'm going to switch over to that. Okay, this is the same chart, 4-hour Pirate, but it's got Fibonacci circles in here, and then it's got Fibonacci channels. So like this gray line, this green line, this green line, these are the channels. And you can see, if we zoom out a bit here, how well these lines are respected. So we've got a bounce off of the Fibonacci circle here, and then, you know, it shot up and then tried to break again, and once it broke it, it came down, rode this Fibonacci circle all the way up, broke it, came crashing down, broke through this Fibonacci circle, came crashing down, and then we've been doing this ever since. Okay, you can also see here that we came crashing down after breaking this Fibonacci circle. We broke this Fibonacci circle, came crashing down. So there's a theme here of breaking down as we're going through circles. Here I just zoomed out and switched to the daily so you can see the rings here too. But we, you know, came up here, hit the ring, got rejected, came through here, actually broke through the ring, but this next candle, the ring acted as support, couldn't hold it, broke back down through, rolled all the way down, kind of around this ring here, and then broke through the ring and came down, broke through the ring, used the ring as support, came back up, broke through the ring, came crashing down, even through the ring again, back up, got rejected, then finally broke through it, rode this ring the whole way down, broke up through it, used it as support. You know, you can see the whole way through. And even here, when it broke up through this ring, it got rejected by this ring, and then came crashing down, hugged the ring here, used this ring as support, this ring as support, this ring as resistance, again 2 more candles as support, and so on. Now I know I'm kind of covering this stuff up, but you can see it here. And the more you zoom out, the smaller candles that you get, the more it sort of comes alive in how you can tell. So on the 4-hour, for instance, I mean, here's just one. It goes up, gets rejected, comes down, support, breaks down through, gets caught, and then kind of hugs this Fibonacci line, breaks down through here, support, resistance, and so on. So, you know, up here, rejection, you can follow it the whole way. But the way that you set these up is kind of a long and arduous process. But either way, once you've got them set up, you have a better idea of where they're going. So, let's see if they tell us anything here. We have this Fibonacci circle here that we rode up, broke through, and then came crashing down. And then there's been no Fibonacci's here. As soon as we broke through this one, we came crashing down. So now the next line of resistance is up here. So as we've had our 1, 2, 3, 4 hit, we're going to come up to this, which happens to line up with the top of the blue line at the top of the channel here. So that's kind of a double resistance. So we might get a little rejection before we then manage to break out if in fact the upside is the way that it favors. We'll take a look at the Ichimoku cloud here in a second. If it doesn't do this bouncing up and out, it might instead get rejected here, maybe even write it down a bit and then go down further, in which case that would change our line here. So we might end up with something more like this, where you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would work your way out for a breakout maybe down here. So as of right now, the long term is not terribly telling. Going into Bitcoin's charts and seeing what Bitcoin's doing, Bitcoin is more obvious, and you'll find that on the more established coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum versus a coin like Pirate. And by looking at Bitcoin, you can see where a lot of these other coins will go, because what happened on June 18th on Bitcoin, same thing. We did a wedge very similar like this. We just haven't broken out of the bottom of it yet, whereas Pirate has. Specifically, this is what Bitcoin looks like right now. So again, June 18th, and then we've got hit, 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 hit. We just haven't broken out yet. It's just been challenging that for the last few days. So you can see that there's a correlation absolutely with Bitcoin and the vast majority of the altcoins. Turning on the Ichimoku cloud on the daily, you can see that the Kijin, the red line, is holding strong, whereas the green line is kind of swooping down. Space is building between the two, which typically means that candles are going to get called back up into that space. And that would go along with the narrative that we're heading up to this Fibonacci line. If we get a little more on the micro and hit the 4 hour, you can see that the Tenkin and the Kijin have come together at this point where it looks like most likely the Tenkin is going to cross the Kijin, so the green line is going to come over and the red line is going to go under, and that is a bullish indicator. When the green is on top, you see here, and the candles went straight up. When the green is below, you can see here the candles came straight down. And right now we're at that cross. The green's been below, the red has been above, and now we're crossing, again, supporting the narrative that we're coming up here to this Fibonacci line. On the 7 hour, the Kijin's coming down towards the Tenkin, which is not terribly bullish, but you can see that here. It hasn't really moved much on the 7 hour chart. So it supports the fact that it's not really moving, it's just sort of consolidating. So as it kind of, you get the sideways action, the Tenkin is coming down, the Kijin is coming down to meet the Tenkin, and when they get close together, that's when pressure builds in a way, and then you're kind of waiting for that next major move. And now I'm going to bring in the Bollinger Bands, which is this smoke, essentially, and you can see that this has created this big ball like this on the 7 hour chart, and then you'll start to see this channel be created out the side. It's not really a channel, I suppose it's more of like a tunnel. So you have like the big ball essentially, and then you have the tunnel, and then once the tunnel forms, it starts to do this in there, which is sort of building up pressure, and then you'll have an explosive move, and that would, you know, support the narrative that we're headed up here to the Fibonacci line. And you can see that exact thing here on the 4 hour. You can see that this tunnel has been created, and then pressure built, and then it's shot way outside of the Bollinger Band here, and this extreme explosion can lead to an overcorrection. So let's see if that's something that we can expect. If I jump down to 30-minute to see if that's the case, I mean, look how far outside of the Bollinger Bands we are here. This is ridiculous. So I would almost guarantee a correction to the other side of the 30-minute Bollinger Bands, and that's bringing you down around the 43-cent mark. If I look at the 15-minute, yeah, equally as absurd. Pirate is so known for this. These explosive moves, and then there's a massive overcorrection. Even on the 1 hour here, enormous. 2 hour, same. 3 hour, same. 4 hour, it's more subtle, but it's still considerably outside. So it's distinctively possible here that we're going to be looking at an overcorrection. Just jumping through each time frame here. Yeah, I would say in the short term, the next 7-8 hours, we'll probably have a little bit of a downturn like this, and then before it comes back up, just to make up for that huge jump. I mean, is that even on the 3 minute? Did that take place in just the 3 minutes? Oh yeah. So this is one of those notoriously pirate moves where in just 3 minutes it shoots up like that and then comes all the way back down again. And then there's your massive overcorrection, and now it's kind of calmed down and chilled a little bit. So we might even be out of that correction. I didn't realize it only took place in 3 minutes, but that's what I'm talking about. When you have this happen, you're going to have an overcorrection out the other end. So it may have already cleared itself up, in which case we're just going to go back to the scenario on the 4 hour where it's going to come up like this and start tackling the Fibonacci and then eventually the other side of the channel. But that's it for me, guys, on Pirate. If you find this video helpful, give it a like, thumbs up, and share, subscribe. I have all the socials down in the description below that you can follow there. I try to get fast updates there, but I just started doing this stuff because I was already doing it. So why not record it and put it up on YouTube and see if I can help others make some money. If you have a coin that you're following that I haven't done an update on, please feel free to ask for it down below, and I'll get that recorded for you and posted as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.